out and drive, and whether it's on the street, the track, off-road, or wherever you might go, right? There's nothing more fun than going flat out behind the wheel. We all love it. So no doubt we've all seen the awesome Hoonigan videos, Gymkhana, right? Who's seen Gymkhana? Everybody heard of Gymkhana? 1, 2, okay, at least 5 of you. Congratulations. Yeah, the Gymkhana videos, this gentleman's a great friend of mine. I've seen him progress through the years, and it's crazy. This gentleman, I was hanging out with him actually all this past weekend. His daughter was racing a Nitro Rallycross doing side-by-side. So next up, our guest tears up the streets, tears up some tires, running wide open through places he just doesn't belong in, from the streets of San Francisco to most recently here in Las Vegas. So basically, wishing we could be the ones behind the wheel. Let's take a look at the latest iteration of something Kana. Well, this is Electrikhana. I mean, those vehicles on these streets, insane, right? Everybody's like EV, oh, it doesn't make any noise. That thing makes a lot of noise, the screeching of the tires. And a gentleman that's behind the wheel and behind the lens, you see, selling some product. You see the credits here. A lot of people went into the making of that. And you know, what began as such a small little concept has now developed in just a franchise and become a unit of measure. I know everybody talks about Kana. Who's Gymkhana? Who's this guy? No, it's Gymkhana. Electrikhana. Look at the progression. So, without further ado, we're going to bring up the gentleman behind the wheel and behind all of those people in the credits. We're talking about Mr. Ken Block and Brian Scotto. You got too excited, dude.
He's the tallest.
He is tall. He's about 6'8". Okay, all right, weird flex. Make some noise again for Brian Scotto and Ken Block. All right, Ken, SEMA said, hey, we got to come up with some questions. I said, dude, I know these guys. I've known you guys. Ken, first question everybody wants to ask. When you have a big dog, like how much does it eat, right? When you see that video, how many tires did you go through?
Luckily, Toyo is very nice and very generous with the tires they give us. So normally for a film like that, we use about 10 sets, so about 40 tires. This time it took over 100 tires. So that thing just eats them like nothing we've ever experienced before. And with the electric thing and not having a gearbox, it makes certain things that I do with the car completely different. And
yeah.
So you know, doing the 3/6 gear, the backwards entry, like I'm not restricted to a certain gear for a certain wheel speed. So sometimes the wheel speeds were up to 80, 100 miles an hour, where normally I would be stuck in first or second gear. So it just creates different sort of situations that are really completely different and unique because of the electric drivetrain.
I watched that video and I'm sitting back there drinking my coffee. That last scene, did you get dizzy? Right?
It's more of a headache, I think. Yeah, the wheel speeds on a donut like that are normally between 50 and 60 miles an hour. And I think we were seeing upwards of 80 or 90 miles an hour in a center axis donut. So yeah, it's kind of a really strange roller coaster sensation that I've never felt any time before.
Yeah, it's insane. Brian, you and Ken met on Gumball 3000 back in the day. It's insane to think, you know, just you guys, like your relationship. You guys are you're best buds now, and just good homies. And you guys have built this Hoonigan brand, which is just a fun thing. You put on the side of a sticker in France, and put that. Now it's grown into something larger. What began as just a fun Ken ripping a Subaru around for a 0 to 60 magazine has now become this unit of measure for all these fans to know. And you know, Ken obviously he's on his second, third, fourth kind of season of life. He just was a fan of drifting. No, I mean, but like, you know, you founded DC Shoes, you sold it. I like rally. I'm gonna sponsor Travis Pastrana, I'm gonna go race. How crazy is it to think that Gymkhana has grown to this, Brian?
First off, I want to point out that at that gumball, I slept on his floor of his hotel room. Hotel room. But no, it's been a crazy experience. You know, obviously from doing the magazines and when I met Ken, Ken wanted to do stuff that was different, and that's what excited me, was that it was very different than everything else people were doing in the automotive space. And what we set out, and I think you mentioned it. This is actually our 11-year anniversary. We launched Hoonigan here at SEMA 11 years ago, which was wild.
Great party, insane party.
That was the launch. It was just a big party. It was an expensive hotel room bill because we had it at the Palms. It was a good time. But yeah, it was. It's crazy to see what started as really a practice video that Ken made because he was competing in, the Gymkhana USA series that went defunct, and he said, "Hey, I want to go film this. We have this car. Let's go make something cool." And sort of taking that sort of skateboard video kind of aesthetic and experience and putting that into the film sort of birthed this thing that not only has continued on for 14 years, and actually it'll be 15 years, but has also grown into something that is like not only influenced a lot of other stuff, but has kind of created this business for a bunch of us, which has been super cool. And to watch Hoonigan grow from, like you said, a sticker on the side of Ken's car is sort of a fun little thing to what it's become, and and just the massive content library and everything that we've done and everything we've been able to do. I mean, I've been able to continue to have fun and enjoy this hobby and call it a business, so that part's great.
Yeah, I mean, for those that don't know, again, Brian and Ken, like I said, so Brian, what is your title now?
Chief Creative Officer.
Okay, so Chief Creative Officer of Hoonigan, and now you've progressed into that. Okay, also, huge Audi guy.
Yes.
How crazy was it for you to have, I don't know, for those, who knows who Tom Christensen is? Anybody? Okay, one person. Congratulations.
So I actually watched.
How stoked were you to have him in those cars?
I watched him win Le Mans one year. So like to go see that, and like I remember being a journalist and barely being able to like get an interview with him. To like now, it's like, oh yeah, you do this.
You do this.
Look a little more shocked, and you go sit over there. No, it was fun, and I mean. A lot of the things that are Easter egged in this, right?
Yeah.
The old IMSA cars and the Trans Am car, and obviously the S1 E2 and all that stuff was because I was a big Audi nerd, and I really wanted to kind of speak to that audience you're putting together. And obviously Ken was too. I mean, both of us when we first met, we connected on Ken being a fan of Audi, so it was great to then go from starting with Subaru, a bunch of great years with Ford, and then for us to get to work with a premium brand like Audi on a whole different level than what we had, done previously. So, and then a completely different challenge.
Yeah, and so throwing over to Ken, you're an Audi fan. I mean, what's the film? I remember back in the day, I think you actually showed me it. Was it Something to the Clouds? What's the film?
Climb Dance.
Climb Dance, thank you. Yeah. Climb Dance. Anybody, show of hands, who's seen Climb Dance? You got some research to do here. So Climb Dance, amazing Pikes Peak hill climb video. He does his hand. Is it, like, how stoked do you, because again, 4 different iterations. I love that you're working with Audi, the S1 Hoonitron, from a Subaru to a $12 million Audi. That's what it costs.
But we estimated. They wouldn't tell us how much it was worth. They told us how much the headlights were worth. We did some math. We ended up $12 million.
12 million.
And when we said it, they looked at us and went, "Yeah," which I was.
They said, "Yeah."
Yeah, which I'm assuming means it was more, because they were like, "Okay, whatever you think." And we realized that to build that vehicle, they had to take a bunch of lead designers off of production vehicles and have them cram this project for 9 months or something.
Yeah.
And it took some of the best people that were designing, the 2032 Audi to help us get this project done. So it was a resource thing. It was what kind of, I don't think the actual car cost $12 million. It was everything they added.
Well, labor is the most expensive thing. We all know that. That's why we're here in the building, right? Just putting things together. It's labor. It's not just building the headlights. It's designing, engineering, doing this. So Ken, back to you. I know you're a morning person, so I'm going to go and joking. I know Ken. Did you get your coffee yet? Okay. Did you get your Nobu yet? Last night. From a Subaru to S1 Hoonitron, how cool is that? The progression of vehicles, and like I say, all joking aside, the generations and the seasons that you've lived, you're ripping around on the streets of Vegas from El Toro Airfield to here. How insane is that?
Well, it's kind of been obviously a wild ride. Anybody that starts as an athlete in a sport and then you kind of dream about where this could go, never did I, envision kind of how this would all play out, and the fact that Audi was actually one of my big inspirations to be a rally driver in the beginning, now to end up, working with them in a big way. It's such a great company. The design really is quite unique and inspiring to me as far as their history from what they've done technologically to some of their really stunning car designs that they do. So to have them design and build an entire race car as a prototype inside Audi's design center built by the race team, all for us to go out and showcase their unique abilities in the EV space has been really cool. So, you know, I love my combustion engines and I love racing, but as a race car driver, I'm always looking for new ways to go faster. And to me, the EV thing is just a great way to take a car and experience it in a whole new way and be incredibly fast with it. So it's been a really fun experience all these years, from just learning to race rally to now being able to do these wild and incredible things with it.
Yeah, you kind of led me into the next question, EV, you know, because, you know, Nitro Rallycross, we were there this weekend at Glen Helen and I announced that series, and a lot of skeptics on EV. How does EV play a role in the progression of what's going on? Technology, aftermarket, this is all about aftermarket. Borla exhaust makes a sound. I know Von Gittin Jr. with the Mach-E 1400, he had T-Pain make the noise for his backup, right? Just random things. How does EV play a role in the aftermarket world? I mean, you saw how capable that machine is, and you obviously firsthand.
Yeah, well, I think it's interesting that we're watching kind of the birth of something completely new. Obviously, electric motors have been around forever, but using them for transportation is something that's now growing bigger and bigger. So I think there's a great opportunity for all sorts of things in this marketplace, and we're really watching that build and happen. And it's not an easy thing. When we went from, you know, a certain setup that worked for me very well, racing and creating these Gymkhana videos, to now having to sort of reinvent the wheel with the electric side, it hasn't been something that was an easy transfer. Audi and us did a lot of development with it, a lot of testing, and we're still working on it. So it's definitely a new world, and it's fun to be a part of that development and finding these new sources and ways to do things. And as far as the aftermarket world, yeah, you mentioned Borla is one that really stands out to me, that they're finding new ways to use sound. But on top of that, you still have companies like Rotiform and Toyo that make a great product for this and are continuing to test and develop and make even better stuff.
Yeah, FCP Euro, you had a couple partners on that. We're going to wrap it up here. Anything you want to say? I mean, I don't know, Brian, I feel like this is cool. Like, going full circle, I'm super proud of what you guys have built between Hoonigan and we're on this stage, dude. We're just punk kids. I remember 1998 skateboarding down Flamingo. My wife actually came to the banquet that I now host. And I didn't get an invite. Now I'm hosting it. Anything kind of in closing and just you'd like to kind of perpetuate out there?
No, I mean, I think that, you know, this is, I was trying to remember the 25 hours.
It's my 23rd year.
I think this is my 20th year. I was trying to remember if it was 20.
Happy anniversary year.
But it's crazy to think, like, you know, when I first got into this space, I was an enthusiast who landed a job at a car magazine. It was so exciting to be able to come to SEMA, and now to kind of be on this other side and work with SEMA directly to try to bring, you know, more younger audience into the space, but also defend our hobby. Like, I think,
but the people that make this industry great. So enjoy it every time.
Awesome. All right, with that, guess what? SEMA Show 2022 kicks off. Round of applause for Ken Block and Brian Scotto. All right, are you guys fired up? Make some noise. Come on, SEMA Show 2022 begins now. I'm Jarod DeAndra. Join us Thursday for the banquet. Huge announcement on Thursday. I'll be there hosting. We're gonna center stage. We're changing things up. I'll have a tie on. Oh gosh, I mean, I only wear a suit once a year, and that's Thursday night. Huge announcement. Thank you again, Ken Block, Brian Scotto. Congratulations to all our winners. Thank you so much for joining us here this morning. Hopefully the quiche settles well, the coffee. Now it's time to get out there, have fun. The best SEMA show ever. Go rock it. We'll see you on the floor. I'm Jarod DeAndra. Send it. Thank you. Woo.